Mazda's CX3 is a small crossover good enough to, well, change the way you feel about small crossovers. Though hardly the most affordable choice in this sector, it's cleverer, faster, more stylish and better to drive than most cars of the Duke genre. For other brands entering this segment, it's an example of how it should be done.
On the move, you'll find that Mazda's SkyActiv chassis technology has made this car light and agile. As a result, it's as happy as a golden retriever puppy when the roads get twisty. That extra performance of the SkyActiv G petrol engine lets you enjoy that to the full too. At 2 litres in size, offering a choice of either 120 or 150 PS, it's a larger and more powerful unit than you might expect to find in a car of this size, but the payoff is performance on another level from most rivals. The 105 PS 1.5 litre SkyActiv D diesel that we're trying here isn't quite as peppy, but it's still energetic enough to allow you to enjoy yourself. The ride quality is quite firm, but refinement's good enough to make longer trips possible. All too often, crossovers in this class look too gawky, stubby, tall and narrow with strange hall of mirrors dimensions. In contrast, this CX3 just looks right thanks to its cab-back body and long bonnet proportions. The overall effect is anything but cutesy, and the coupe-like roofline give it a real sporting stance. Time to take a seat behind the wheel, where it's much more obvious just how much of this design is derived from that little Mazda 2. Everything around you is familiar from that little Super Mini, but the key difference with this CX3 is this crossover model's 50mm higher driver's eye line, delivering that loftier driving position and better all-round visibility that customers in this segment expect. For me, though, it's the seats that are most important here. Height adjustable, of course, and carefully designed for excellent support. In short, getting comfortable in this Mazda is as easy as you could ever imagine it would be in a car of this diminutive size. Once you've completed that process and taken a look around, there are a few things that stand out. First up is this deeply cowled motorcycle-style central dial. The other defining interior feature lies not in what's included, but in what's been left out. There's no centre stack dividing the front of the cabin, so no mid-mounted display screen or stereo system. That infotainment display has been resited onto the very top of the dash, where it's placed more precisely into your field of vision. There's certainly a greater feeling of spaciousness than there would be in a Mazda 2. Courtesy of a bit of extra roof height, this car is 40mm taller than its Super Mini counterpart, and the fact that the seats have been placed further apart. Parents will find that that makes turning around to their rear-seated offspring just a little bit easier. Talking of a seat in the rear, let's try that out. 2 adults will be certainly fine here, thanks in part to the efforts made by the designers in creating these slimmer front seat backs that feature concave sculpting, and this frees up space for your knees. If you need more room than that, then you probably need to walk over to the other side of your Mazda showroom and try the brand's slightly larger CX5. The same comment applies when it comes to cargo space. Lift the light tailgate in this CX3's 350-litre boot is inevitably dwarfed by the 503-litre capacity offered by its larger stablemate. But that total is sufficient to match the modest standards set by the class leader, Nissan's Duke. On the move, this Mazda will prove as affordable to run as nearly all of its direct rivals, while offering sprightlier performance than any of them. To prove the point, I'll tell you that the 1.5-litre diesel-powered CX3 that I'm trying here is a second quicker to 62 miles an hour than rival Nissan Juke and Renault Captur models, and offers more pulling power too. Yet it still returns 70.6 miles per gallon on the combined cycle and 105 grams per kilometre of CO2. In its own way, this little CX3 is just as pleasant a surprise as its larger CX5 crossover stablemate was. As with that model, this one matches the highest standards in the segment for driving dynamics. Plus, with the CX3, you get more performance than most rivals can offer, so you can enjoy this car's joie de vivre to the full. Yes, there is a price to pay for all this attention to detail, one that may mean you having to stretch your budget a little further than you might have expected for a car of this kind. We think this CX3 is good enough to justify that though. A fashionably late entrant to the little crossover class, but undeniably a very complete one.